Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined today by Michelle Blum Atkinson, a Democratic Oregon State Representative candidate for Medford seat. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Today? Thank you, Craig.
Thanks for being here. So, what motivated you to get into politics?
Well, it came down to my kids. So I got involved in politics when the library got shut down here in Jackson County. So I didn't want to not have the libraries for my kids like I grew up with here. And so I ended up starting a political action committee called Libraries for All. And we advocated for a special library district, similar to what they did in Deschutes County. Kind of long story short, we only have 5 minutes, but it passed. And it's amazing. And I get to take my kids there now, and they love to go. They don't love to leave. But, you know, it really showed me that there's a lot we can do in government to not only make this a better community for ourselves, but for our kids and for all of us. And the government has a good role in that.
Okay, and what about your background, personally, professionally, do you think suits you or makes you stand out, I should say, as a candidate?
Yeah, well, first I grew up here in Medford, in Southern Oregon, so this is my hometown. My grandparents lived here too, and I'm very motivated to see things improve. My background, I went to journalism school, actually, at U of O, studied documentary filmmaking, but I also took a lot of computer science classes. So I'm a geek and proud of it. And so I started a computer software class or a computer software company when I was 20. And so I think that technology could be a great thing here in the Valley. I'd like to see more technology companies. So anyway, later I joined my dad's company here called ProCare Software. It's another software company that makes child care management and accounting software. So I'm kind of a numbers person also. And so I think the background of business, also living here. I'm also on the board for Family Nurturing Center, Kids Unlimited Academy. So there's a lot of things that I think I bring to the table. Okay,
and if you were selected by voters in just a couple of weeks, what would you see as your top priority, the one thing? I know it's hard to narrow down one, I'm sure there's a list, but what's the one thing you want to be a priority for you?
For me, it always comes down to education, because I think that's tied into so many other things. For instance, we have a housing shortage here in Jackson County. Well, I feel like if we did more in our high schools, did more career technical programs, taught skills to our high school students on how to build, electrician programs, construction programs, because a lot of people left the industry in 2008 because of the recession, and they haven't come back. So we need to do a lot more building, and education can be part of that. Also, preschool education is so important, and it's so expensive right now. I mean, preschool can be as expensive as college tuition. Which brings us to college tuition being way too expensive. And so if we can really get a handle on education and bringing the caliber up and the costs down, then I think we can make a really big difference in the lives in our community here.
Okay, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Michelle Blum Atkinson, the Democratic Oregon State Representative candidate for the Medford seat. So we talked about education being your top priority for the legislature if elected. Oregon has a PERS problem, you know,
sure.
and we're spending a lot of money on education, and yet education is a huge problem in Oregon right now. How do you fix PERS?
Well, we only have a minute to talk about this. Part of the PERS problem, and I absolutely do believe that it is a problem, I'd like to focus on it from a different perspective, which is how are we investing the money right now? And are there any ways of being more efficient in the ways that we invest in PERS, the PERS Retirement Fund? We do pay a lot in investment and management fees, and I think that we could cut some costs that way. I really don't want to fix PERS by cutting teachers. I think we need more teachers right now. We need more firefighters. So we need to find a way to be efficient with the resources we do have, first and foremost.
You mentioned firefighters. Is there anything the legislature can do to mitigate some pretty terrible Southern Oregon fire seasons?
Absolutely. I mean, my kids are starting to remember summer as the time where they can't go outside and play, and I don't want that. So Oregon can put resources towards fire prevention. So that means clearing the underbrush, doing some prescribed burns, and really trying to prevent. I like the idea of drones going up to try to catch fires early too. There's some new technologies that we can use that can make a big difference.
Good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.